You want to be just like Mark Cuban, one of the richest mans on the planet? Yes, indeed. You can find out right here, right now, how he made his first million, his first billion, and how he spent it all right here at Financial Guru. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Financial Guru. We are going to talk about Mark Cuban, one of the greatest entrepreneurs on the planet today. And we're going to understand how he made his success and how he made his first million and turned it into a billion. Mark Cuban started off as a middle class family with his father telling him one thing at a poker game that started it all. Yes, indeed. He went, if you want tennis shoes, my son, you need to go out there and find yourself work. Then you can buy whatever you want. So this put a little bit of a thought in his mind. And his family friend at the poker game also said, well, here you go, kiddo. How about you sell garbage bags? I've got boxes and boxes of them. So he sold them to Mark Cuban for $1. For $3. $3, and he sold it for $6. So that was 100% profit. So he started thinking, I'll go door to door and be the only person selling subscriptions to garbage bags. So anytime you need it, I will be here for you. Just give me a call. So that started the entrepreneur journey for Mark Cuban. So once he started doing that, he started to believe in himself more and more. And he thought he has to get himself educated and learn everything he needs to know to get himself into business. So how did he do that? By the time he got to 16 years of age, he knew he had to do night classes and studies because he didn't really like study. And then by 17 he had left school. He had enough. He knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a businessman. So how did he get to his first $1 million? How did he achieve it? Well, this is how Mark Cuban did it, right here. So he created a computer system company called Micro Solutions, using his own money, cha-ching, which he eventually sold for $6 million. There we go. That's how you do it. Got to start a business, baby. You want to make the big money? It's only in business. It doesn't mean your first business is the one that's going to win. It might take you 3 or 4 businesses to get yourself going. Just keep on going and believe in what you believe. So then $2 million went to him, Mark Cuban. But what else did he do? He partied like a rock star. He thought he had freedom. He thought, I don't need to work anymore. I love my life. Until a friend was there and said, I've got something for you. I had the freedom I wanted, but I really wanted to push the boundaries. I wanted to be there tomorrow and really sustain my lifestyle. If you want to spend $1 million for 30 years, you need to at least have 20 million. So this is what I'm telling you right here, folks. So if you want to live a lifestyle like Mark Cuban was saying at that point, it's just either relax and never work again. I'm just giving you a bit of concept here. You'll need at least $20 million at 5% dividend to live a life of $1 million a year for 30 years. That's showing you how much wealth you need just to get to that sort of level to live a lifestyle where you can do virtually whatever you want. Not private jets all the time. Obviously, you need to get more and more up the ladder as you're going forward. So if you want to have the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, get yourself business savvy, get yourself working. Unless you win lotto. Or if you're just lucky in stocks. But let's see what else Mark Cuban has to say about his first $1 million. He made a lot of money in the stock market with with a buddy from college in 1995, Todd Wagner. They started a company called AutoNet to play Indiana sports, all the sports in Indiana on his platform. The videos became live for Cuban as a broadcast.com, turning the channel into the first streaming company ever. So Mark Cuban was ahead of the game for his time. In 1998, they went public, where he was expecting the price to be about $36, but when they went well past his expectations to $62.65, cha-ching! All of a sudden, Cuban was worth 300 million smackaroos. Woohoo! Oh yeah! Talk about a baby. He thought to himself though, if I 3x this, I'm a billionaire. Then Yahoo came along and gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. And the stock price tripled like that, and he was a billionaire. And one thing Mark Cuban thought about this though, once Yahoo had got involved, he was a little bit worried about what could happen, because he had a lot of stock, and he thought, well, I need to do something about this. And he decided, I need to do what's called a collar, and that's when he sold high. So he sold some of the shares, and then he put puts on the low side, expecting the stock to go boom. And what happens with puts, if it gets to where your level is, they pay you money for getting those shares at a much lower price, which could be, at that stage when it was all flying high, he might have got so much a share, who knows? Could have got $10 a share, who knows what it was. Might be something even more ridiculous. But it was one of the 10 biggest money grabs ever in the stock market. That's why Mark Cuban is a billionaire. Was it a bit of luck? Yes, there's always luck involved. But he was an insider. He understood the business. He knew it was overvalued, and he took the money and ran. Can you do this at home though? Can you follow in his footsteps? Absolutely. It's not easy, but I personally do believe you can do it. But I do it more with a value stock. I'd rather do it by value and seeing the prices low and buying low. I don't like doing all this put in and out options. It's a lot risky, and you can lose a lot of money that way, so I'm staying away from any of that. But it's something that you can do. And I'm just giving you an example of a stock that recently has skyrocketed, is Palantir. It's shot up about 135%, depending on where you look, even more. There's a few theories to this on what you can do. Just keep the money in there and just keep on riding the wave. But is Palantir going to drop 100%? Who knows? Do you take out 20% and reinvest it? Or what other people do, they take out their principal and then they invest that somewhere else where they think there is more growth. And that is probably the key to keep developing your growth. Now, there's also issues with that. You've got to pay the tax on that, that stocks that you sold. There's all that little bit of issues. You've got to make sure you have the money saved away for that if you do that sort of stuff. But in the stock market, that is a good way to make a lot of money. But it can sometimes get yourself stuck in a value trap. And I'll just give you a slight example of that. Not necessarily a value trap, but say Alibaba, for instance, when it really dived, even though it has gone up quite a bit from the bottom, but people were expecting to go back up to 300. It's been stuck only in the 90s now, but was stuck at about 70, 80 for quite a long time. So you just got to be careful that you might get into the wrong stock at the wrong time and it's stuck there for a couple of years. If you're looking at that balance and trying to build every 6 months, year, and get out, sometimes that strategy, and then you might be thinking, oh yes, I'll get out of this and go into another one, and then just repeat the mistakes. I personally believe you just find stocks that are in big value, buy as much as you can, as quickly as you can. A lot of people say just average cost, and that is total rubbish. You buy it when you can, when you see it at a good price. If it goes down 50%, well, if you've got a chance to keep buying more, great. If you don't worry about it. You will see it in the long run. Boom. You got to take advantage when it has. And Meta's a big stock. That shows you when you had a bigger chance there to get some big bits in there. That's when you do it. There's other stocks obviously, but this is just giving you an example in the video, of course. These are stocks that you could have gotten at bargain prices if you understand value investing. But getting back to the man himself, Mark Cuban, let's have a look at what he's done when he spent his money when he got to $1 billion. What did he spend it on? Well, let's have a look. First of all, he decided he better buy himself a jet plane. Yes, he wanted to buy himself the G5 jet, the private jet. Why? Because as he's done, he valued his time. He decided, yes, I want to value my time. I want to have all the time in the world. So if I need to get somewhere quick, I don't have to wait in lines at the airport. I can just fly straight away, boom, out of here. He spent $40 million on that jet, folks. $40 million on that jet. And it's the biggest purchase ever in history online. Let's get on to number 2. Yes, his number 2. That was buying the Dallas Mavericks for $285 million. Why did he do this? Well, he obviously was a big Mavericks fan living in the area. He went to an opening game, 1999-2000. He was a season ticket holder, and he looked around the crowd and saw it was pretty empty. And he thought to himself, why not give this a go? I think I can do a better job. And all of a sudden, boom, he was the owner. And so what he did, this was just a bit of an analogy of what he did, he told people, he started getting on the phone and said, you can come here and watch a Dallas Mavericks game for cheaper than going to McDonald's. As well as building a new stadium which had PlayStation, big screen TVs, everything that you'd want. And it just continued to snowball and snowball. His third big purchase, yes, was a home. Now, he said this was a big lesson learned. He learnt from the mistakes of the previous owner. So, he got a call from his mate that there was a foreclosure on this house due to the person losing a lot of money in the stock market. So, he had put $25 million into the house. And he was only living there for about 8 months, and the stock market crashed. And he lost all hope, and he was forced to sell the house at a very half the price, $12.5 million. So he probably spent more than that. He probably spent $30 million. So $12.5 million he got it for. So he only just saw some pictures, and this was a big danger. He just only saw some pictures, didn't actually see the house. The house could have been a train wreck. Could have been a dive, could be completely run down. So the lesson was that he got away with it. He was lucky in that regard, but also to make sure your wealth is protected and don't get too highly risk on and not having yourself saved by not just relying on the stock market, even though it's a good way to make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But there could be times when your value goes in half in the recessions. And that can be a time when danger alerts, especially if you're in the more riskier place. But now to finish off this video, Mark Cuban has some advice for you at home. If you want to make your first million, how you get there, this is how you do it. Rule number 1, find something you're good at and be great at it. Yes, indeed, folks. Find something you're good at and be great at it. And I say even more than that. You be the best you can be. You need to be better than all the rest. Let's get to number 2 on this list. Yes, number 2 is you need to know how to sell. And I tell you what, that is one of the biggest things that most businesses fail on, and that is getting the selling right. If you can sell your business, you can sell absolutely anything. If you're absolutely good at sales, that's where you can make the moolah. Doesn't matter what your product is, what your service is. If you cannot sell it to the masses, then look out. And you also got to be, this is key, this is the third one, you always got to be willing to learn, as the business world is always forever changing. And once you know all of this and understand, when you walk into a room and you know more than anyone else in the room, start your business. Yes, when you start knowing more about everything you need to know in this specific field, that's when you start a business, folks. So it doesn't matter if you're a chef, if you're an app designer, real estate agent, an architect, a car manufacturer, inventor, mechanic. It doesn't matter what you are doing, what business you're starting. You can do it. Yes, you can do it. But you have to strive for success. You have to be a forever learner and develop your own skills along the way so you don't go plateau or downhill, so you can reach 1 million and beyond, all the way to 1 billion. Who knows? You might be just like Apple and go to 1 trillion. But yes, anyway, that's enough for me around Mark Cuban and how he got to his first million and then his billion and how he spent it all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel because we love to spread the financial independence to you and all your friends. Remember to share this video. Thank you very much for joining me, a financial guru, and I will be back with another video shortly.